stinky, but it smells like fertility. Saturday, starting to rain, just getting some stuff done around the property here. I've got the aquaponics tanks cleaned out. You can see there's some little fathead minnows down in there. That's what it did look like. And we ran water hyacinth this year, and then it freezes out and dies. And I knew I should have pulled it out, and I just kept putting it out, and now that it's warmed up, it's just kind of sludge at the bottom. So I use the net, scrape it out, fill up these bins with it. I'll take that up, put it in the aquaponics system. It makes really good compost, good additive to compost. And then I'll bring the water back up, and then I'll let the water cycle for a few days with these big air stones, and that'll off gas most of the chlorine from the city water that I use. And then I will take the fish out of here and put them up in there. And then I will do this tank last, and then we'll turn the system on. And I know people are like, oh my God, you can't do that. Oh my God, you'll kill those fish. We've done this for 6 years now in exactly the same manner. I have never neutralized this water. I've never added any amendments to this water. Nothing, just literally city water. You can smell the chlorine when we put it in. We've got 4 of these big air stones right here that just blow bubbles all through that and off gas it. This is my air pump. That's my distribution block. And then we run it just like that. So we're gonna have a bunch of people here in a couple weeks for Self-Reliance Festival. So every day just chugging away at little projects, and everything will be more presentable. Really, it's more about people being able to flow through, right? Walk through, have everything in line so there's aisles. So everything's not disheveled, you know, the way it is right now. I've got the forerunners full of plants. We brought in a bunch more starts just like these. Every year I want to plant way more than I need, right? I know when I plant these things, I'm like, well, I'm gonna put 4 cabbages in here, and then I'll just get rid of the weak 2, and I never do. So I only put 2 cabbages here, and they'll grow up. They'll cover this whole bed. I really need to get some kind of frames on them right now because they get cabbage moths on them. And then same with the squash. I need to fab up some kind of frame that just kind of sits on this lip and then maybe has a step down so that they just sit here to keep the squash beetles out. We don't even eat squash. Like, we could have 2 crookneck squash plants and have more than enough to eat for the entire season. That's what I'm doing. Let's see, I'd walked in here a minute ago. Amanda was working on loading the freeze dryer with eggs. I just brought another load of eggs in from this morning. Where are those eggs I just brought in? Oh, I put them in the sink. So those are all, how many eggs is that? 100 eggs in the freeze dryer. That's probably about 60 that I just brought in. And then I've still got eggs sitting around from this week. And there they are. We're running these little half pans. There's 2 pans per shelf instead of these big pans. Just easier. We put 10 eggs per bag into these small bags, and they're very easy to deal with. How long will that run for?
Probably 36 hours.
And what kind of pans are those? I remember you said the other day.
They are
toaster oven pans, and they work perfect. Still got a few flowers on these trees. You can see some of these still haven't woken up. They're starting to put some growth on. So these guys, these will probably be okay. But these peaches here, we're probably not going to see any peaches again this year. Trees are still living, but we won't see any fruit off of them probably. We got a 31 night coming, and then we got a couple more 31s. We were hitting 70, 80 degrees for a couple weeks, and these suckers warmed up, came right back to life, put all these flowers on. So most of these peaches all come ripe right about the same time, so we're probably not going to see anything. Figs still not woke up, but as soon as we get a couple weeks of warm, consistent weather, these will all put back on all kinds of life. Last year, well, a couple years ago, we got one of these submersible pumps. Sometimes it would work really well and sometimes it wouldn't, and I never bothered to warranty it. I liked it enough that I went and bought a second one. And you can probably rebuild these in some manner, I don't know. But what I have, you see some fathead minnows down in there. I'm gonna capture them and put them over here. There's already some here. And this water has run for a couple of days with the bubblers in it, so it should off gas most of the chlorine in there. And then I'm going to fill this one back up and then drain it a little more. And then these one have the koi, so I'll take the koi, put them up there in a day or two once that water's cycled a little more, and then that'll be the last tank to cycle. And then we'll cut PVC. I've got a broken joint here, this sucker's cracked here, and I've got a broken joint here. You can see the water kind of trickling out there. When I fill these up and I forget that the hose is on, it fills these up and then runs out these breaks. A couple days, this will all be cycled. These rafts will be in there. I've got the 4Runner. I've got to pull a bunch of plants out. Back of the 4Runner is about a third of the way filled with plant starts. We'll take these cabbages right here, rinse the dirt off, put them in net pots. I don't see any sitting here. I just saw one a minute ago. These net pots right here. Take these and let the roots just dangle down in the water, and that's how those will grow. And the cabbages do really well when it's cool like this. Until you start hitting 75, 80 degree weather, they'll grow huge. So I got a bunch more starts. I'm just gonna kind of clean things up today. Heading up to check on animals right now, and just been doing a bunch of stuff inside this afternoon. Nothing cool to show. It all really just looks the same. Really just more like chores right now. We've got a man coming tomorrow who's a professional shed mover, and we're gonna move this back and over. So what that'll do is it'll give us, everywhere this is sitting, it'll basically give us parking area right here and utilize this space back here that's not being used. It'll actually tuck in right in line with this shed, and it'll fit between this pole and there, and it'll give us about 6 feet between each shed to still walk through. That'll be good, and everything will look in line. It just drives me crazy when I'm flying the drone and it just looks so ratty like it does right now. So a lot of times when I decide where I'm going to put things, I do them based off of what it looks like on the drone. You can hear the sheep up there. You can hear all the roosters. I got a ton of roosters, and I hate killing them. I just don't like killing them. I need to kill them off, and just we've been using them for dog food, but we have so much meat right now. We ended up with all these roosters. We used a new company last year for chicks, and they were short on part of our chicks. And then when I told them, hey, we're just short, they're like, no problem, we'll send more out, right? And we had paid for females, and when we grew these up, they were all roosters. 30 roosters up there probably, that just need to be dog food. I've tried to give them to people, like they're great roosters, really good looking roosters, but I don't need that many roosters. So roosters and dumplings doesn't sound right? Chicken and dumplings, and dog food. Kitten on a stick. It's not really, it's a rabbit. It's in my hand. There's not a stick, it's not a kitten, but it is dog food. Watch. Cute little Bubsy Wubsy. He'll play with it. Oh man, this is always what happens. My tools get left out. I left it out, and then the dog chews them up. So this tree fell down. I forgot all about this thing. I think it was alive. Not standing deadwood. Well, at least it didn't make a giant break in the ground. It didn't make a giant hole. I guess it was rotted out in the middle there, but we'll chop it up, turn it into firewood. I guess that's just a little more daylight on the ground. Got a few more too. When we got this place, it was so thick like this, you literally couldn't walk through it. Got some more standing dead over here. This one, I wonder if we can just push it over. And then this thing is completely hollow here, but it's still alive. Low point here, water stands here. So we'll go through and pile up all this laying dead wood, just limbs and stuff. We'll pile that up, get it out of the way, because guys are going to be camping back here. And we're going to light off this burn pile right here, this bonfire. So we want the tents pushed further over this way. He usually doesn't eat this while we're out here. Like that? Like that? Hi. So we came out the other day and chipped up some of these, but it's so much work to chip them up. The return's not there for the cost of man hours. So we'll light it off because I need it out of here. I want to be able to see the pond from over here, and you really just can't. So, and we got another tree here that was standing dead, these 2 pine trees. When we put the pond here, the 2 pine trees died, which we knew they would. but it finally fell. So I'll get a chain around it and drag it out this way. Chop that thing up too into somewhat of firewood. Plus it'll give us a couple good videos of the new chainsaws and the different chainsaws. It'll give us some good videos of that, and then running the Wolf Ridge splitter. That'll be pretty cool, I think. So we'll get the dam open.
No one wander off the dam tour. And please take all the damn pictures you want. Now, are there any damn questions?
Yeah, we're gonna get some damn bait.
And get all this dead wood off of here. I guess swim out there and get a strap around that thing, a chain around it, and try to pull it. I mean, it could stand there. It's just ugly though. This one needs to come down too. But I want to get this all opened up so we can reclaim this ground here, and then kind of reroute where the moisture goes here a little bit, and then open this berm up so people can shoot here. We'll just give them, right now they got to stand pretty dang close, too close really. This is a low point and it kind of just sits against this berm, so I want to change the taper of this dirt a little bit. Quail, quail, quail. Plus we got these things starting to grow, all this softwood trees. Just this is what was all over the property originally. No value, doesn't really do anything, so I'd rather put our own trees there that will actually produce something. A little bite at a time, right? 10 by 10 feet at a time. Heading up to the compost bin. Got the last of the fathead minnows out of here, since I'm shocking them with chlorine water in this tank here. I netted a koi out of here, at least 12 inches. We'll drain the water down, see how many are really in there, and then we'll put them up here in the next day or so. I just want to let this water cycle real well and run through it, so all good. That's our particle separator. Not much in there now. We've ran fresh water through everything. We will be up and running and growing in a couple days here. Wish you could smell that. Stinky, but it smells like fertility. Greasy, grimy gopher guts, except it's goldfish poop and rotted plants. Where'd all your rabbits go? Did we eat them all? I saw the not grumpy Pyrenees eat one. And then I saw one, the grumpy one took one in here. I don't know if she hit it or what she did with it. And I would assume Hera ate one. You think they came off of their carports? There's no fronts to them. We were heading out to eat. First time we've left the property this weekend, I think. And Amanda said, if you look up this street, there's some roofs blowing off buildings. And I said, those are whole buildings. It's somebody's car porch. You can see right here where they were spiked in and they've just flipped over. So I think this is carports for the church, which is these here. But you can see it just peeled them right back. I would bet they could pull these down and seat them back in place. Pretty good size. I've never noticed them here before, but you see them from down on Main Street down there. So it sucks, but I'll bet they're still usable if somebody pulled these things back over. Heck, I would take them if they wanted to get rid of them, but I doubt that's the case. Okay, they were carports, probably for these buses, these vans, and you can see they were actually pinned in. That one's still pinned in on the corner, so they actually just sit down over these parking spaces.